Hey y'all, this is Val. How y'all doing today? I'm doing well. Guess what? I have another story time with Val. So I'm not going to hold you guys up, but I do need to give you a backstory. This story time is going to be called F Around and Find Out. And this story time is based in the same house that we were living in. Me and my kids was living in during the time we went to Myrtle Beach. This time, this incident came from my daughter. My daughter is like as quiet as a mouse, sweet as she can be right now. Bother anybody. She goes to work, she takes care of her kid, and she comes home. This is the daughter, and I'm gonna call her what we used to call her when she was young. I don't remember. No, I'm not even gonna call anything. I don't remember. No, I'm not even gonna call anything. My daughter. I'm just gonna say my daughter. My daughter was probably about 8 or 9 years old at this time. May have been a little bit older. I really don't remember, but I know she wasn't like preteen or anything like that. So I believe she was either in the fourth or fifth grade, and when this incident happened, and I was working at this utility and gas company at the time, and so I was this particular day, I was so tired. I was dirt tired because if anybody worked in customer service, they know that it's not physical work or physical labor, but it's a mental drain. So I put the things up in the kitchen, and normally, because of the way the house is built, you could see me coming or either hear me coming because the house was so little. But this particular day, I came through the door. Normally, they would be coming to meet me because they know I have something. But this particular day, no one came in. Now, it was hindsight that I noticed that, but at the time, I was so tired, I didn't even notice. So I put my things up, and I haven't even gone out of the kitchen yet. I hear a knock at the door. No, the doorbell rings. And, the doorbell was ringing. And I was like, who is it? And the person on the other end or on the other side of the door said, Can. I was like, Ken, hold up. Is this? So I goes to the door looking at the peephole. I see this white guy and a little boy standing next to him. I said, well, what they want? Because I ain't buying. So I opened up the door and I was like, yes. And he said, good afternoon, good evening, ma'am. My name is Ken, and this is my son Carson. I'm looking, I was like, damn.
Oh my
Carson's
God.
face looked like he was in a Mortal Kombat fight. I mean, red stripes and crosses and lines, highways, everything on his face. And I was like, what the F happened to you? And he was like, so his dad took over. Ken took over. He said, ma'am, I believe your daughter attacked my son and beat him till he looks like that. And I was like, what? And he said, I don't know what's going on, but your daughter just attacked my son for no reason. And I'm looking over at Carson, and Carson looking like, oh, so defeated. And Ken proceeded to say, well, Carson is a good kid. He doesn't bother anybody. I don't know what would provoke her to do him like that. I hear stumps coming from the back. It's my daughter, and she said, he called me a big B. That's why I beat him up. And I said, what? And I was like, go now, go to the back. And he proceeded to say, he doesn't even use that language. I said, well, sir, you don't know what they do when they at school or when they away from you. My daughter is not, I know my daughter. My daughter is not going to beat no kid up without a kid touching her or saying something to her first. And he said, well, all I'm going to say is, if I get some hospital bills, you better be prepared to pay them. I said, you better be glad my husband is not here, which I ain't had a husband, but you better be glad my husband ain't here. And I said, I'm going to go to the school tomorrow, and I hope you'll be there too. And if I find out that he attacked my daughter, but he lost, you better be prepared to pay for Carson hospital bill. And I said, and get away from my door, sir. Not hung up, slammed the door. I said, girl, what is wrong with you? Well, mama, you told me not to let a man disrespect me. And I said, yes, amen. That is a little stringly little boy. Well, first of all, he's in the 6th grade and he's not even supposed to be on our bus. I said, oh, really? So I said, well, we'll find out tomorrow. And I tell you, if you beat up this boy for no reason, you know what you're going to get. And she said, yeah. And went in the kitchen to get her cheeseburger and fries and went on to the back. Just as confident as anybody can be. Okay. The next day, I gets to the school, talk to the principal, and let him know that my daughter was in a fight, not on the school property, but she was in a fight. And he said, oh, so and so? I said, yes. Okay. He said, I heard about it. And he said, well, it looks like the both of them are going to be suspended. I said, oh. So I said, do you mind if I see the fight? And he said, I'm going to have to put it on mute. And if you want to call it a fight, he didn't laugh or anything, but you want to call it a fight, I guess you can see it. Okay. I sit down at his desk and he turned the camera around to me, and disclosure, I'm not sure if it was a camera or something. It was a device that showed the actual incident, um, you know, on mute. I don't know why. I didn't even ask. All I see is those two heathen, I guess they skipped the other part, was going back and forth with each other. Carson was standing up, and my daughter was standing up too. Carson stood up, said something. My daughter got up and said something. And knowing her, she said, okay, you talking, now wait till we get off this bus. That's what I'm thinking. So a short while after that, you see my daughter getting off the bus. You see Carson getting off the bus. Now, I don't know if Carson lived near the direction my daughter was going, but that's where Carson was headed. All I see is Carson doing this and doing that, and my daughter looking back and saying, then giving finger works and all that, and walking back. So I see Carson continually to follow my daughter till he got close to my daughter. And I'm assuming that's when he called her a BB. All I see then was books, papers, and pencils everywhere. I seen his face getting tear up so bad till I was like, that's a human paper shredder right there. I'm just kidding. But I witnessed Carson get his tail whipped I said, that's all I need to see, sir. I goes out that office. Now, I was looking like I was mad while I was in that office, but after I got off that, out of that office, I was like, you go, girl. You go, girl. So, mindless to say, Mr. Ken didn't bother me. Mr. Ken went on about his business, sorry. Went on about his business, took care of Carson's face, and gave Carson a lesson about life. Because I told my daughter, yes, that was wrong what Carson did, but Carson was doing all the talking. And when they do all the talking, just let them talk. But she said, Mama, a little bit of spit got on me when he started calling me that name. And then that's when I lost it. And I know what happened between me and my sister-in-law, but that was right before her. That little, I know they're just so angry and so careless, but when that little particle hits you, whether it's intentional or not, you lose it. But the moral of the story is keep your mouth, your hands, and your child to yourself. Thank you. Until the next time.